guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, hello, my name is Kim. I go by Kimberkiss Cosmic Queen here on YouTube. Welcome. I hope everyone's doing very well. I'm going to do an Andromedan reading again for my channel because I'm being told to do it. And yeah, there's just been a lot of things coming through this morning. I don't know if anyone else has been experiencing this, but me and like a couple people have been getting like a lot of downloads this morning. So I'm just feeling like a lot of information is being presented symbolically and also being channeled at this time. Some of the messages or symbols that I'm getting are still a lot having to do with the rose, with flowers, with magnolia, with time, timelessness. These are the things that keep being presented to me in my outer reality. I'm also getting continuously more Oz messages, and it's so interesting because in the David Bowie Let's Dance video, I believe they're on an island where they find the red shoes, but before they do, there's a volcano that goes off. And we just had that volcano that erupted by Hawaii, and Tonga then got hit with like huge waves, like tsunami waves. But it was weird because when the eruption happened, it literally looked like a rose in the water. So it's just really crazy because I keep getting like repeated messages about that. And then like I feel like we just had that plasmic outburst, right? That class X outburst from the sun, the plasmic solar flare, that's what it's called, solar flare. And then we had all this weather being affected as a result of that, which can easily be seen as like the volcanic eruptions, the earthquakes, the shifts. Like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different messages about romance coming through, but I'm going to get into those in a separate reading, I think. But we'll just see. I'm not going to, I'm going to keep it open to see what wants to come through. But I'm getting a lot symbolically about mermaids. I'm getting stuff about Ariel. I'm getting stuff about the color red. I'm getting stuff about Oz. I'm continuously getting stuff about Oz. I'm still getting stuff about the Philosopher's Stone and immortality. And like, it's just like so crazy because I think Lemurians hold like this essence of immortality. And I had a dream last night. Oh my God. Like, see, I'm starting to fit pieces together. I had a dream last night that I was in this huge oceanic body of water, and it was really cold, like really, really cold. And there were like these two like mermaids on either side of me, like trying to help me remember how to breathe underwater and like teach me like before I passed on, because I knew people were coming to rescue me, but I knew I wasn't going to make it in time. And so they're trying to help me remember how to breathe underwater and kept like pushing me under and pulling me back up. And like, I think like I started to remember, and then I got rescued. And it was weird because like when I got rescued, I was like in this like daze of like having a mermaid tail and stuff. But like, it was almost like, and I don't know if that's because I saw that advertisement for the King's Daughter yesterday on Instagram. And that's why I had that dream. But like, nothing is coincidence. Like, I really don't think anything is coincidence anymore. But anyways, they were heating me up after they rescued me. It was just like a really crazy experience. And then it's also weird because I was having messages about plane crashes. I had a message about a plane crash yesterday for a client. And then I was on one of my friend Tim, who has gotten like synchronistic messages, always pertaining to like the messages that I get with Oz and everything else. But he had this picture that showed 3 planes flying over train. And within that same reading, I got the train coming through. And then I also got a message about like a plane crash in a past lifetime. So I was like, huh, this is weird. And then I had another friend that sent me like a past life regression. I won't go too much into it, but there was like some sort of like aerial attack, and then also had to do with like the Lemurians and their essence of immortality that they hold, that these people in the planes were looking for, searching for. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. And then I've been getting messages about Isis and Osiris, and how like the Horcruxes in Harry Potter, and how Voldemort puts his essence in like different Horcruxes, and how like Isis and Osiris kind of like, Osiris did this by, you know, putting like I don't know the full mythology on it, but I know pieces of it, and that's kind of like what I'm referencing to, is Osiris's pieces of his body like throughout the world that hold his essence. And I think it all like entails like different ways and things of viewing it. And then like also like Medusa's head with the snakes, and how those are like the 7 or 8 snakes are like different, you know, levels of consciousness or pieces of consciousness that's being represented. And then how there's like different aspects within each being. Like Osiris is like an essence of Isis, and Isis an essence of Osiris. And like these are just different messages I've been getting. Also how Athena has Medusa killed, and it's weird because there's essences about rape and virginity throughout these messages. There's also like rape and virginity that's also like been coming through about different messages with that. But basically Medusa was supposedly raped in Athena's temple. But I feel like Athena and Minerva and Medusa are like the same entity. And I feel like the patriarchy kind of wanted to downplay the essence and the levels of her intricate consciousness that's fractalized through these 7 snakes, which represent wisdom and kundalini and awakening energies, and the essence of timelessness with the Ouroboros biting its tail. So I feel like a lot of it's symbolic for a lot of things, and we take it literally, when maybe it's meant to be felt into and taken whichever way you perceive it to be. And not saying that this is the right way or this is the wrong way, like to just allow these different essences and energies to be presented in your field of awareness, and to take them how they resonate with you and what's being presented with you at that period of time. I'm also getting like essences of like timelessness, and how we're all like time portals of consciousness and awareness, and how sometimes we can feel like we're the only ones here creating it all, and then other times we can fall into the pattern of thinking that like other people or outside forces are creating our reality. So it's like that dualistic experience of being the prism behind the rainbow experience. So if when you learn about a rainbow, you understand that it's caused by a prismatic effect with the rain and the sun. And then like someone could be standing right next to you and not see the rainbow that you're seeing, and vice versa. So it's like you're creating this prismatic projection hologram of reality, while others aren't able always to perceive your perspective of it. And that's because we're different lenses of source. But then it makes you think, am I the only one here? Am I the only one creating this? And all these other people are different avatars of my own consciousness that I'm projecting out into the world to learn lessons through. Or are they like the only ones that hear, I'm not really here, and I'm the one learning through their projections and realities and things. So it's just like, you know, like not saying either way is right or wrong. Like we're like in taking all these different levels and ways of like perceiving our reality. And it's just like weird, but it's cool at the same time. So I'm blabbing, but that's like a lot of the stuff that I'm getting. Also, it's interesting because the king's daughter talks about the mermaid and how she holds this essence of immortality that the king that's of high power is after. And then like this is like the literal story from like watching my friend's past life regression. So it's interesting. It's just really interesting. They were after immortality, and we're after this essence of like being a being on the beach, you know, like, so it's just really weird. I'm also getting messages about Ariel, Mary Magdalene. There's a connection there that I've talked about before, and I might insert it here so that way you guys have a better understanding of what I'm freaking talking about. But yeah, there's just a lot of consciousness and downloads and messages coming through Persephone. Because it's interesting because I sent my friend Tim a message about Persephone, but it's a name of a song, but it's different than that. I'll insert it here because I can't remember. But then it was interesting because he wrote on his mug Persephone. And Persephone is Isis, another name for Isis. So I'm like, oh, this is so crazy. And I'm getting all these messages and words and like different things and like symbols and what they mean. And it's definitely like an essence of time consciousness that's like trying to upgrade me or be downloaded through my consciousness. And so I'm just rambling, but I'm trying to provide this to you because I do believe in a past life I was an Oracle of Delphi. And maybe not even, like maybe I just have like a part of my consciousness that's still running through that perception of a past life that I'm still incorporating and then like activating through my consciousness to you. I don't know, but I do ramble a lot, so I'm sorry guys and gals, but I really just, yeah, it's a lot of work to remember your past lives. Like while it's like really easy, it's still like a lot of work because it's like a puzzle that we're having to piece together to remember like what and why we're here, you know. And I feel like I'm always on the Alice in Wonderland trail where I'm constantly chasing the white rabbit that keeps perpetually telling me that I'm running late, and then I'm running out of time, and like I'm trying to catch up and like piece together all these different pieces of the puzzle. And I don't know if anyone else feels the same, but this is just my perception and the way I experience it. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So pretty cool though. The advertisement for that one movie that I posted to my Instagram this morning, if you want to check it out, it's on there, but I might be able to insert it here.
Do you remember me?
No, I'm so sorry, I don't.
How's that possible?
I don't remember who I am.
Are you Alina Reynolds? I'm a big fan of your work.
All of my memories begin with me walking around with these people. You're special.
I think you're very obviously special.
Why?
Because you came with me.
Where is Isis? She is in the cosmos. She is spread out so far, shattered, that she has not been able to recognize herself. She has been wandering the halls of her own mind. Long ago, Osiris was divided into 12 personalities, 12 aspects, 12 kings. And these kings rest in matter.
But basically it reminded me so much so of Wizard of Oz and like Dorothy being on the yellow brick road and like trying to find her way back home. and like that essence of like just adventuring on into higher dimensions to figure things out, and how it relates to the people in your life. It's like she knows these people before she goes to Emerald City or to Oz, the land of Oz, and then like she comes back and remembers who they were within that higher dimension. And it's like we're always trying to figure out who these people are that we knew from higher dimensions, because we have a soul essence feeling that we know them, that we remember them, that we remember working with them or doing things with them. And it's just this feeling of remembrance. And are these just like pieces of ourselves that we're remembering through other avatars that are here? You know what I mean? But I feel it's like both ways. Like while we like receive information that we remember about ourselves through other avatars, they're also doing the same through us. So it's this like crazy puzzle of life that we're trying to figure out and remember continuously. I hope this is making sense. And it does feel like a lot of work once you do like start picking up on the signs and the synchronicities, like trying to piece them together and trying to figure out what they represent symbolically, and like doing research, but then also having to take into accountability that research is just like, you know, different people's perceptions of what it could have actually meant. So you have to take it in within your field of resonance and figure out what it means for you. And then it's like weird because whenever I post something on Instagram or on YouTube, it's like other people are constantly experiencing the same things on the same wavelength of consciousness, which shouldn't surprise me because it happens all the time. But at the same time, it's like when you think about it, it's like, whoa, like this is crazy. We're all receiving these same frequencies and wavelengths of consciousness, you know? And then like they'll come in with a piece of information that helps me figure out that piece of the puzzle that I would have never thought of otherwise. So it's like, it's really cool how our consciousness just expands just from being within the same frequency. Like some of these people I've never even met, you know what I mean? Like I just know them from being online, and it's like that frequency and that wavelength of just being online that connecting us to help us to remember. You know, it's weird. You can be in a person's presence and have all these downloads, memories, and flashbacks as well. It was 14:41 on the clock. I just want to note that. It might be different when I go to edit it, but that would be a 55, which would be a change of duality and like perceiving duality. And then it's like this essence of like all these multidimensional ways of just perceiving consciousness in and of itself is like can be quite overwhelming, especially when you're Andromedan. And yeah. If you haven't watched my Andromedan reading, the first one, there's a galaxy within it called the Cosmic Rose, and that's what I'm referring to here. Also seeing the portal that looks like a galaxy. I've been seeing that left and right, and like I feel like everyone from Andromeda is a time portal, like literally a time portal. Like I don't know how else to explain it except you're a time portal. And like understanding what Isis and Osiris means, like just within the letters, can be very eye-opening and awakening. Like Isis, like I rise, you know what I mean? Isis, I is us, I see us, I sis, I see, you know, like I see. So Osiris, Iris, I rise, you know, like Oz. It's just interesting. Yeah, rite of passage, definitely. I feel like when you receive downloads, stop trying to oppose them right away. Like just allow them, even if they don't make sense, and maybe write them down. Another message that I got recently that we were discussing this morning is the pyramids, and how I believe I got a download. I'll have to look and see how long ago it was, but it was kind of a long time ago. I got a download that the pyramids are actually, Merkabahs in totality that are buried under the sand. And what we're seeing is just the top point of them. So it's just weird. Like, I've been getting that message. Also different messages about the location of the Holy Land and where that actually resides now. Could it be in the Americas? You know, and could that be why we're getting attacked so harshly? With weather patterns and the virus and everything else, you know what I mean? So just things to think about. Not saying that that's valid or that's true. It's just downloads that me and other people have been receiving. So we're just trying to piece it all together and figure it out. Also, what else? I'm getting messages about hot air balloons, storms. I'm getting messages about obviously the different fractalities of consciousness and what that means. Also, like time and the essence of time and what that means in and of itself. Timelessness and what that means. Yeah, like dualistic thinking and how that's kind of like being muddled into like a multiversal thinking, which really can confuse things that you would have perceived as like light or dark. It kind of goes into gray, or to like multi ways of viewing it, or even walking into technicolor. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the level of consciousness that we're perceiving at this time. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I really do. I'm just kind of blabbing. Another message that I've been getting is the message of the clover. So it's interesting because I've been getting this message for a while. And L. Frank Baum, the writer of Oz, wrote a book and made it into a silent movie called Patchwork. And I actually watched this, and I think it has a lot to do with Osiris and Isis. And not only that, it also has to do with the Philosopher's Stone and the elixir of life, because it's all in it. And one of their missing ingredients is the 6-leaf clover, which leads me into the constellation of the Pleiades and the 7 sisters. And then I was talking with a friend, Casey, and we were talking about how, you know, there's within the Pleiades, there's the 7 sisters, but maybe there's 6 sisters and then like a mother, or a mother that carries the mother and father energy, or maybe a mother and father. So then like you think about the 7 sisters of Ariel, like there's 6 sisters and then there's Ariel, but maybe Ariel represents this motherly and also masculine energy because she's the mermaid, yet she grows legs, right? And then she's fluid, and then yet she's going after aggressively what she wants, and then she has a voice, and then like her voice is taken away, you know what I mean? So it's like all these different energies and essences, and they literally make the whirlpool, which would like symbolically represent Andromeda because it's literally like this, and that's in and of itself would be like a portal. So it's just like so much coming through. Emerald, like if you break the essences of the word up, and I put it into Google Translate, and I always do this, like when I receive messages to do this, I will take a word, I will break it up in what ways Spirit is showing me to do, and then I'll put it into Google Translate, and it was like meralda or Adele or something like that, and it meant to go through, like going through a portal. And like a long time ago, I had this like vision or dream of where I was a mermaid and I went through this mirror portal. And I've also had visions of going through portals and things like that. So, and like in accordance to my Mayan kin, accordance to my date of birth, I am a galactic activation portal. It literally says, I am a galactic activation portal, enter me. So it's like, and then, the first like live stream I click on this morning, this amazing girl on Instagram, she's talking about being activated. So like, that's what I do. Like, I'm an activator. I activate people So it's just like piecing all these things together and what they represent. How the 4-leaf clover is considered rare, but then there's like this 6-leaf clover. And like, what does that mean? What does that represent? And then also with the 4-leaf clover, you guys all know that I've been getting messages about north, south, east, and west. North pole, south pole, east, east, east. The west isn't wicked. You know what I mean? Like all these different messages, and like the 4 corners of the world. That keeps coming through and being presented to my awareness, the 4 corners of the world, which I've actually stood in the middle of. Like I literally got to, my parents took me there and I got to stand in it. I believe right by there's a sundial as well. But then I'm wondering what the 4 corners of the world actually represent. Is that like an earthly compass? You know what I mean? Like it's just interesting to think about. Is there a cosmic compass that's like right above those longitude and latitude coordinates, like coordinates, cord inmates? Like, are these latitude and longitude like keeping us tied here as like a symbolic cord, you know, to Earth? It's just, I don't know. I get all these weird messages and things, and it's like, what does this really represent? Also messages about the Star of David, which is the Merkaba, the Moravian star as well. And like in the past I got messages about this sun star kind of pattern too, which I can't remember what it's called right now, but yeah, it's just all these messages, and it's like, okay, something about flipping the switch, and there's a train, divine emphasis from spirit, the time travel train. Here we go, guys. The Polar Express, is that in relation to Polaris, which would be the North Star? You know, there's all these different star consciousnesses wanting to come through, and they're just able to fluidly through whenever I tap in or just tap into Andromeda. So yeah, I do get frustrated sometimes when I can't piece things together, but I know it's for a reason, and I know it'll make sense later on. So I'm seeing, oh, that was another thing. The number 10 kept presenting itself to me. And it's been, my grandma passed at the time of 1010. 10 represents completions and new beginnings. And we literally have the Wheel of Fortune represented as a 10, a new cycle moving into good luck, into the future. I also saw a kaleidoscope this morning that had the colors yellow and green, and then I got further messages on Instagram about the colors red, yellow, and green this morning. So let's see how it's like it's all coming together. The tapestry of life, it's coming together. I'm also getting messages about the masculine energies, the feminine energies, and like the essences of like Perseus and how he killed Medusa. It's like when he severed her head of consciousness was like the marking of separation through time, of separating the sexes, even though I feel it had been done before, but it was just like a reiteration of that, something very significant that I don't think should have been done, but it was done. But who am I to say, you know, but also it's just interesting to think of it. Also the 9 muses, Pegasus Plaza, because again, like that video clip, I was getting messages about Magnolia again. And what does that mean? And the 9 muses are connected to the Castilian spring, that of which is the entrance to the Oracle of Delphi. So again, we've gone full circle, and here we are back again. Okay. Someone is possessiveness of your energy. Okay. I think you're having to be more possessive of your energy, Andromedan starseeds, because I feel like in the past you were working out of fear and you actually did a lot to like sacrifice your own energy, and now you're taking it back. I'm also seeing you working through past life trauma and sorrows. Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to get to. The rape that Perseus did to Medusa happened within Athena or Minerva's temple. But when I think about it, it's like, did I talk about the patriarchal view of how they wanted to sever or downplay the consciousness of women? And then also you can look at it as the light and dark being played out within the consciousness of Athena and Medusa, because I do feel like they're one and the same. I feel like Athena's like the light aspect, like the chastity virgin aspect of Medusa, who's like kind of foreseen and portrayed as like a harlot. So it's just like really interesting. Also, like this feeling of having to be perfect, you know what I mean? And like coming out of that energy. What is like the essence of sexuality, like divine sexuality, and what that means, you know, and how we go about embracing it when it's been so taboo within our society. That's been a message that keeps coming through. That's also the way we tap through our creativity. So if we're denying this aspect of ourselves, we could really be haltering our creative force, you know what I mean? Because that's our life force. That's the root chakra, which is red. Another emphasis on red. I think we're moving out of this way of thinking now. This in itself is a rite of passage. And I'm also seeing like success here for a lot of you, but you're like viewing it in the opposite way, because it goes against the traditional way that people would normally perceive success, okay, which is causing you to pick up on those energies and receive a lot of opposition in the mind, but you're still staying determined towards your goals and your reward. So that's a message I'm getting. I keep getting messages about crystalline consciousness, okay, so like tapping into your crystals, receiving messages from them. The water has been coming through very strong, the fire as well. Yeah, it's just like, I know I'm kind of all over the place rambling, but these are just the messages that I've been getting. In Patchwork also, that silent film that I was talking about, it represents like they cut off Patchwork's leg, which represents Osiris, because he had been disfigured and everything else, and his body parts like cut off. And then, yeah, the symbol of male sexuality as well, because that has a lot to do with Osiris. And the church bells are going to reconfirm that. Very like faint, but you might have picked it up. What else am I getting here? Andromeda, what else do you want me to speak on to come through? Yeah, just like these huge significant weather changes that we've all been picking up on, seeing. Just our whole universe, I feel, is shifting. I feel like as our consciousness expands and shifts, I mean, so does our universe, and vice versa. The messenger, yeah, the message. And like really trying to understand past, present, and future time, and how it's like all encapsulated simultaneously within your human essence, but also your cosmic essence, and relating between the two. Anything else that wants to come through? Yeah, nurturing. Yeah. Nurturing your own ideas, and trusting what you receive from them. They're telling me messages about the icicle, And I was also getting the message continuously about the bicycle, which would represent two, which would be like feminine and masculine. It's so weird how we're separated here, right? On Earth, but like in higher realms, I feel like it's a divine consciousness that's fluid yet solidified in the knowing that it's all one. So it's just like trying to perceive like higher ways of viewing consciousness as opposed to the way that we view it down here. The song that I sent my friend is Parlophone. I think it's Parlophone, and it's called Let's Get Lost by Beck and by Bat for Lashes. I'll have it listed as the first link down below, because I just feel like there might be messages in there. And it's weird how it's called Let's Get Lost. And my friend Tim recently posted something that said lost with a backward C. And that symbol I picked for a card for my rune deck. You know, let's read that. Why don't I read that while you guys are here? You want me to read that one? Also, this one came out. It was these two. They're still here. Manas, which is an M with an X, which is strange because I've seen that on the palm of like a few of my like guy friends' hands. And then Sawillow, like I have the two M's, but some of them have an M that turns into an X at the bottom. So it's quite interesting. It's literally this rune symbol. And then Sawillow, like you all know, I've been seeing the Z nonstop. And this one also looks like the Harry Potter marking. Like technically that resembles like the mark of the beast, because Voldemort is like portrayed as the beast and he goes to kill him, but his love overrides him trying to kill him, so it only leaves a mark on his forehead of the scar of the lightning bolt. So Sawillow. So it was weird because when I sent my friend Tim this card, a concert, a Lana Del Rey concert popped up on my phone that looked exactly like this card. I'll post it here. So I'm just gonna read these for you guys. This might not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but that's okay, because I don't know. Look, here's another Z. This is a brand new deck. It's called Runes for Modern Life by Camilla Perkins and text by Teresa Chung. So I'm really like, I'm just now learning about runes finally. I've been like told the message to keep like learning, but pronunciation of this one is so we low, and the meaning is sun and energy. And like, this is literally the message that again was in another one of my, that was in my friend's past life regression about retrieving energy from the sun, that of which the Lemurians used to do. But this says being closely associated with the sun. This rune card is bursting with natural life, light, energy, and radiance. Illumination is a dominant theme, along with clarity of vision and the defeat of dark forces, confusion, and negativity in your life. You are, or soon will be, experiencing great success, and the only obstacle preventing you from enjoying this joy and light is your own belief that you are not worthy of success. Work on extinguishing those negative assumptions within yourself. Achievement can be yours if you change your attitude. Think positively and trust yourself. The sun is a life force, so this card is a very auspicious sign in any reading. Did I not say auspicious in one of my starseed readings? Which, like, I never say that word, and it's right here. Auspicious. I never say that word. I gotta figure out which reading that was in, and I'll insert it here because you might want to watch that reading. And if it's the Andromedan one, I'm gonna laugh. It says, but there is a warning, just as flying too close to the sun can get you burned. The plane crash. Be careful where and how you direct your energy. Ensure that your plans and dreams are grounded and that you don't lose touch with reality. So that's what that one means, and it's an S, but it looks like a Z. And it's interesting because my daughter was drawing S's yesterday that looked like this symbol, that looked like Z's, until I showed her how to do it, and now she can do it. But it's just funny. This one's called Manas, and it's Ma-Naz, kind of like mayonnaise, but a fancier way of like pronouncing it, Ma-Naz. This meaning is humanity and humans. So Ma-Naz is a symbol of both the human race and the individual self. Oh, this is weird. In the rune deck, it celebrates everything about humankind that elevates us, our intelligence, our compassion, our creativity, our artistry, and our ability to innovate. It is a symbol of the collective consciousness and the values that we all share. But at the same time, it is strongly associated with an individual's self-awareness. Which is crazy because that short clip of the movie that I posted is all about being lost, but like trying to find oneself back to the path of home, which is literally the story of Dorothy going to Emerald City and like figuring out how to become self-aware, learn through her mistakes and everything, and then to be able to come back home in a full consciousness, retaining that information. So very cool. If this rune appears, you are encouraged to think about your attitude towards others and what your unique contribution to the world is. What assistance or service can you offer others? There may be some conflict between your beliefs and the demands and expectations of your family or society, but if you continue to deny your true self, you will feel increasingly frustrated and isolated. Study or the acquisition of new knowledge is another key theme here. Perhaps further study is the way for you to find greater fulfillment. So, always studying, always learning, and that directly coincided with like the success message here, the ways of doing things non-traditionally, right next to the success card, right? Right next to the Hierophant is the 10 of shells. Again, we have another 10, so we have 10, 10. So there's your 10, 10 portal. Right above, as above, so below, right above and below each other. So there's a 10 on here, and this is the 10 of shells. So, wow. Just a lot coming through. Another message that had came through was how our ancestors, once they pass, they actually pass on gifts to us as well. So really honoring and cherishing that and showing appreciation and gratitude to them for that as well is very important. I hope these messages resonated. Again, I apologize for it being all over the place, but I just kind of had to hit record and film like what was coming through. It may not make sense. It may make sense, but that's fine as long as I'm able to express the frequencies I'm getting, the downloads I'm getting, and for you to be able to receive the activations and the downloads is what's most important here. So I love you. If you were interested in a starseed reading with me, they are my most popular readings. I did a couple this week for clients. You can read all my reviews on Etsy. It is literally an experience unlike any other. You learn so much about your origins, about yourself. And then I definitely recommend the hour starseed reading just because we really go into depth, and then you're able to actually go in deeper with like further messages from your beings of light. Like for the half-hour one, it's more of like you just learning about your origins. We pull a few cards at the end, but like with the hour one, I'm able to like really dive into messages that you're needing to hear at this time and acting as a conduit and a channel and an activator for you. So I love you all so much. All the details for that will be listed in the description box below under my Etsy shop link, Kimberkiss Readings on Etsy, all one word. And yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this magic with you all today. And if you have not subscribed, consider doing so. We have so much fun here. Synchronicities galore, and magic just naturally happens here. It's always a different kind of experience. I also offer love readings on my channel if that's something that's more of interest to you, so check those out. And always trust what you're drawn to, as all my readings are considered timeless, which means you're meant to watch them at that moment in time when you're drawn to one. So trust that. I love you all so much, and until next time, guys and gals, I will talk to you soon. Bye now.